mixed double sculls each year. 18 boats racing this B final. Looking here at the Italians, Violante Lama, she's rowing with Rosario Panteca, representing Dibi Rowing Club, Italy. They're in lane 9. But it's a big field here. Athletes from the USA, Great Britain, Japan, New Zealand, France, Canada. In fact, I think Canada are having to pull out, so we may not see them in lane 8. Talking with Aubrey Oldham yesterday, Sarah Pigeon racing the A final, the women's solo later on today. They'd rather not double up in this B final. So I think Aubrey and Sarah won't be racing in this mixed doubles B final. But then we've got Friends of the Sea from Greece. They're in lane 18. We've got Turkian athletes. Sungurlu siblings from Turkey in lane 16. It's a big old field. Just going through their final moments of prep. This race due to start in 8 minutes' time. Looking there at Clément Thomas and Charline Le Breton from the Société Nautique de la Baie de Saint-Malo, France 3. Japanese athletes at the top there from Swift Racing Japan, Ishigaki Yuka and Ikeda Koki. You can see the Kiwis at the top of the picture there, Matt Dunham and Jackie Kiddle. World champions in the mixed double at the beach sprint last weekend. They'll be looking to see if they can win this B final here today. They had a slightly challenging heat in the first time round. I think they're a little bit disappointed to find themselves in this B final rather than racing the A final. They had a bit of a clash coming off the start. But that's sport, that's racing. Looks like they've got Joe Sullivan helping them with the boat handling there. I think that's Joe in the yellow t-shirt. Our world rowing photographer Detlev Saib, taking some of the amazing photos you see on the World Rowing website and our social media channels. Do get in touch with us on social media if you've got any questions. At World Rowing on Instagram, at World Rowing Official on Instagram. Got any questions or thoughts about the racing? There's Joe Sullivan on the left, Matt Dunham on the right. Jackie Kiddle, world champion, I believe, from 2019 in the lightweight women's single in Linz Ottensheim on the flat water stuff, and then they became world champions together last weekend at the beach sprints. 2 French boats from the Société Nautique de la Baie de Saint-Malo, Hubert and Emmanuel Briard, and Clément Thomas and Charline Le Breton. They're alongside each other in lanes 5 and 6. So let's hope they don't crash into each other off the start. We've seen that sort of thing happen. So there are 18 boats here, no coxswain to help with the steering. So it's all down to them keeping a clean, straight line. We've got Ring Rowing Club in the middle there alongside the composite crew from Saint-Jean and Tonon. Ring Rowing Club Ireland alongside that French composite. See David Hussey in the grey vest, purveying the scene, just assessing what's going to happen out there on the course. Ring Rowing Club's Karen McCarthy and Noel Creedon in the blue with the yellow stripes. Now we're going to catch up with Luca, who's down there to do our own Martin Brundle pit walk.
Back on the beach, we can't wait to hear all about this next race. Will be the B final of the mixed double scull, and we've got New Zealand here with us. How are you feeling about this race?
No idea, to be honest. Anything can happen out there, as we found yesterday. So if we can get around the course and have a good one, learn how to take the corners a bit better, then I'll be happy with that.
It's getting choppy up there, I think.
Oh yeah, you can definitely feel it. I'm not sure what our plan is going to be. Hopefully we can surf it and see what we can do.
Oh, that's great, that's great.
4 minutes.
So this B final, the last B final.
Well, there we go, the last B final, the whole competition to enjoy now. So lots to look forward to in this B final. 18 boats clashing for the win in this B final. Athletes from all around the world. huge field here to enjoy. And then, of course, after this, we'll be into the first A final of the weekend, the A final of the women's solo to look forward to next. That's due off in just over 30 minutes' time. Here we can see Japan Swift Racing, Ishigaki Yuki and Ikeda Koki. In a moment, they'll be called to put their boats into the water. 3 minutes left before we start this B final. Mason Notha and Brooke Downs, Next Level Rowing, USA 2. They're on the left of this field. In lane 1, Sarah Parfitt and Graham Davis for Runcorn Rowing Club in 2. Ishigaki Yuka and Ikeda Koki for Japan in lane 3. Looking here at Hubert and Emmanuel Briard for France. They're in lane 5 alongside Matt Dunham and Jackie Kittle of New Zealand in lane 4. Then the other French boat, Clément Thomas and Charline Le Breton for Société Nautique de la Baie de Saint-Malo in lane 6. Malte Hein and Karina Hein, Alemannia von Hamburg, Germany in lane 7. I think we were due to have Sarah Pigeon and Aubrey Oldham of Don Rowing Club Canada in lane 8, but I believe they won't be racing today, so we'll have that confirmed in just a moment. Violante Lama and Rosario Panteca of Dibby Rowing Club, Italy in lane 9. Noel Creedon and Karen McCarthy for Ring Rowing Club, Ireland in 10. Jean-Simon Carivane Pic and Véronique Couvreur. Composite crew from Saint-Jean and Tonon in France are in lane 11. Toril Lindjeberg and Peter Vale for Royvereniging Kvik, Denmark in 12. And then we've got Connor Sawyers and Alyssa Trebilcock of Next Level Rowing USA in 13. Alejandro Caro and Antonio Barbera Vega for Club Maritimo Linene, Spain in 14. Gail Aranya and Yannick Boudelo for Société Nautique de la Baie de Saint-Malo, France in 15. And then we've got the combination from Turkey's Alesta Kurek Club, Dilek Sungurlu and Teginzan Sungurlu in lane 16. And then the Spaniards from Club Maritimo Linene, Pedro Mestre Gil and Lorena Merida in lane 17. And then completing the field, Friends of the Sea from Greece in lane 18. Sotirios Apesos and Vavara Nicolaidou in lane 18. So theoretically, we've got 18 boats, but I think one or two of them may not be racing due to various issues, illness and unexpected progression to A finals typically being the cause. Crews not wanting to double up too much because bear in mind, after this race, we shift from the 4K course to the 6K course, so it gets just that much longer after this B final. Yeah, you can see a gap between Dibby Rowing Club and Alemannia Hamburg. That's where we would have found the Canadians from Don Rowing Club. So I think we've got at least, at most, 17 boats here. Into the boat they go after the buzzer sets them loose. Let's see if they can have a clean start here. Looks very, very good for Thomas and Le Breton from the Société Nautique de la Baie de Saint-Malo. But then over in lane, that's them in lane 6. And then over in, I believe that was Next Level Rowing, Sawyers and Trebilcock, who had a very fast start as well. Looking here at Germany's Alemannia von Hamburg, Malte Hein and Karina Hein. A lot of boats, very, very fast start for the center lanes. That's what you'd expect to see because the lanes are seeded based on their performance in the heats. Already a very spread out field. A couple of boats on either side of the course struggling to keep pace. But I think the best start there was the French crews. You can see surging out into the early lead. You can see the Turkian athletes there from Alesta Kurek, the Sungurlu combination. Just up on Club Maritimo Linene, where we've got Maestre Gil and Merida. Still a lot of directional support from the coaches on the beach. Absolutely critical because they won't want to be looking over their shoulder too much. You can see the rolling waves now coming directly onto shore. It was a little bit more on the diagonal through the early stage of racing this morning. Things do shift around quite a lot here in Barletta. Kiwis out in front then. This is where you'd expect to find Matt Dunham and Jackie Kittle. They're a couple from New Zealand. They are also world champions in the mixed double beach sprint of last weekend. Very emotional finish for them, taking that win together here in Barletta. They've been training with the Next Level squad from the USA and some of the Spanish team in Donoratico week before last. And that really has paid off, that knowledge sharing. It just shows when you get some of the best athletes in the world to train together. When you train with the best, you really do learn how to be the best. And that's exactly what happened in Donoratico. That sort of sharing of knowledge has just put the Kiwis, the Spaniards, and the Americans at the top of their game in most of the fields. I think we'd expect the Kiwis to do very, very well in this race. They were surprised to find themselves in the B final, but they had a little bit of a clash in their heat. Nothing can be done about it. That means that they're here in this B final, but they could have been contenders for front of the field in their A final had they got there. Now looking at the rest of the field, Société Nautique de la Baie de Saint-Malo, those two boats, they start alongside each other. They're right in the middle of that leading pack. It's just the Kiwis surging out to a fast lead at the front of the field. They'll be absolutely going for it now to try and get to that first turning point, see if they can get clean round it and mean that they don't have to battle with the others. Then we've got Panteca and Lima from Dibby Rowing Club currently holding second place ahead of Thomas and Le Breton of Saint-Malo. That's the 1, 2, 3. Then we've got the Danish combination Frovereniging of Lindbjerg and Vale currently riding in fourth place ahead of Ring Rowing Clubs Creedon and McCarthy. We saw Noel Creedon racing in the solo. Here he is now with McCarthy in the mixed double. It's diagonal rolling waves, keeping them on their toes. This is where they burn out their forearms, constantly adjusting the direction. But nobody's going to touch the Kiwis. Matt Dunham, Jackie Kittle, absolutely rapid start for them. These two really do know how to move a boat together. They're up there just at 30 strokes a minute, so quite a calm approach to things, and they look like they're going full slide as well. So they're opting for the slightly longer stroke through the water than the slightly choppier approach that we've seen from some of the other athletes. I think that seems to be working when they're going into the direction of the waves. Turkiye here, Dilek Sungurlu and Sengizan Sungurlu. See how they get up towards the first turning point. You can see then behind the Italians from Dibby Rowing Club, they've got a couple of lengths clear water for themselves as well. So the field really now starting to string out a bit. Italians have got good boat speed here. They're continuing to pull away from that tightly knitted pack. Can't see anybody touching Matt Dunham and Jackie Kittle in this race, though. I mean, we know that they've got the depth of endurance and the engines on them to hold the full 4K distance. Question's going to be about the small places in this B final. Ring Rowing Club trying to move up through the other Saint-Malo boats. Around the first turning point then go New Zealand. Dibby Rowing Clubs from Italy going to come around second. And then it looks quite tight between these 5 boats for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Let's hope they have a clean route round. Denmark get round it first, just ahead of Saint-Malo and Ring Rowing Club. Saint-Malo in the blue boat in the middle of the screen there. Ring Rowing Club with the green deck on the right. Denmark just off the left of the screen with another green decked boat. So it's Denmark holding 3rd place behind New Zealand and Italy. And then we've got France 3, Saint-Malo ahead of Ring Rowing Club. Ring Rowing Club in 5th. And then France 7, where we got composite from Saint-Jean and Tonon in 6th place. Germany 0-1 in 7th. Alemannia von Hamburg, that's Malte and Karina Hein. And then USA 2, which is the next level rowing combination of Brooke Downs and Mason not aft. And then we got Great Britain 1. Great Britain 1's Runcorn Rowing Club, Sarah Parfitt and Graham Davis, currently in 9th place ahead of USA 3, where we've got Next Level Rowing's Connor Sawyers and Alyssa Trebilcock. Japan 1, then in 11th place, we've got Swift Racing's Ishigaki and Ikeda. So the field now starting to really string out in this massive 18-boat lineup. But New Zealand just continues to pull away. Look at this, 50 meters up on Panteca and Lama of Dibby Rowing Club, Italy. They themselves then have another 50 meters back to Denmark. So I think those two boats are going to run away with this B final. Nobody's going to touch them. It's going to be this battle for the small places between Denmark, Saint-Malo, well, the two Saint-Malo boats, and the composite crew from Saint-Jean and Tonon. So everything's still to play for. We're coming up to 1,800 meters down. It's about 2,100 meters to the second turning point in total. So work to do now. They're going with the direction of the waves. So some of these athletes will be able to take advantage of that. The Kiwis continuing to pull away from Italy, and Italy doing the same to Denmark. So the field at the front just really, really strung out now. A little bit of a turning wobble there, as we see just starting to move down. That's one of the Saint-Malo boats. But this is Panteca and Lima for Italy, holding second place at the moment. Great race from them in the colourful pink of Dibby Rowing Club, Italy. That's them at the bottom left of this picture for Italy. And then Denmark in the green-topped boat in the centre of the picture, currently holding third place. So this all comes down to the navigation. You can see they're taking quite a wide arc, these boats, towards the third turning point. A lot of the other crews over on the left of that image were taking a pretty direct and straight course towards turning point 3. We should see the silhouette of the Kiwis off the right of that picture there. They've pulled up to nearly 80 meters now on Italy, so they're just storming away at the front of the field. They'll be helped by the fact they're both lightweights, Matt Dunham and Jackie Kiddle, so it'll be that a little bit easier to keep their boat from getting stuck between the waves, and they'll be able to just edge over them. Here are the Italians again, Panteca and Lima, holding second place, nearly 100 meters back now on the leading Kiwis. A little bit more of a stodgy race from them there. They're getting gained on now as we see France pull through Denmark. The composite from Saint-Jean and Tonon. That's Jean-Simon Carivempic and Veronique Couvreur moving up into third place ahead of Denmark's Toriel Lindbjerg and Peter Vale. They're in the first of those green boats, but Denmark now in fourth place. Now round the turning point. Kiwis are already round. They're just off the right of this picture. That means we're going to see the Italians go around it now. You can see the Kiwis just in the bottom right of the screen. They're barely in shot. They're so far out in front. They've got an enormous lead. 26 seconds their advantage on the Italians. I think the Italians struggle with the boat speed down that back leg. That's seen the Saint-Jean crew close in on them. Denmark then in fourth. We've got Ring Rowing Club in fifth. Saint-Malo in sixth place. And then Alemannia von Hamburg in seventh. Next Level Rowing, where we've got Brooke Downs and Mason Nothaft in eighth. And then GB1 Runcorn Rowing Club, Sarah Parfitt and Graham Davis in ninth place. Looking back then to this battle for third place behind New Zealand and Italy. They're past halfway around this 4K course. A little bit easier to overtake in the doubles. Oh, some challenging strokes there to get the boat around a very, very wide arc. That's lost them some distance. A couple of crews just nipping through on the inside. Here then we can see Denmark, who are in fourth place behind that Saint-Jean and Tonon composite. Denmark struggling to stay ahead of Saint-Malo. And then we've got the other Germany combination from Alemannia von Hamburg trailing behind too. Look at this lead, over 100 meters now to New Zealand. You can see that the Italian lead has diminished. It was 50 meters before this back straight. That's allowed Saint-Jean and Tonon to close in to just narrow it down to 35 or so meters as we come down this 500-meter leg. .480 meters to turning point 4, and then a 500-meter leg to turning point 5. These are the leaders, Matt Dunham and Jackie Kittle, absolutely smashing it at the front of the field. They just have such great run on that boat. 31 strokes a minute to the Kiwis. They're around turning point 4 already. Now starting the 500-meter push towards turning point 5 and the chicane through to turning point 6. Beautiful overhead shot here. Very important they make sure they don't miss that turning point. 32 strokes a minute for the Italians, currently holding second place. And then we've got Saint-Jean and Tonon composite in the blue boat there, currently in third. Still all to play for the small positions, though. Really fast stuff from Saint-Jean and Tonon. They're up at 34 strokes a minute, just ticking it around that corner. Going to be a clash here. This could see some of the other boats able to row round them unless they can unlock themselves pronto. So Denmark and Saint-Malo tangled together. They've torn themselves apart now so they can get focused back onto the racing. Short exchange of courtesies, and they're back into the race. A few clashes of blades here, though. Denmark making their presence felt there out there on the water. Look at this, 4 boats all alongside each other. This is going to be carnage coming up to the next turning point. So close. That little clash just allowed the trailing boats to come up right alongside them. Ireland in this tussle as well. Ring Rowing Club. Nothing separating them. They're going to have to converge onto a single turning point. You'd be in an advantage if you're on the inside, but I don't think they're going to have that advantage at the top of the picture there, because they may find that they go round, they're too close on the inside of the course. It's Alemannia von Hamburg's Malte and Karina Hein. Ring Rowing Club in the green deck on the right of the picture, Denmark in the green deck on the left, and then Saint-Malo sandwiched in between with the blue boat. Alemannia von Hamburg nip around and basically overtake those 3 boats down this 500-meter segment. A great turn of speed from them. Can they hold on to it now as these boats start to converge on towards the turning point? Ring Rowing Club in the green boat at the bottom of the picture. They're pushing up ahead of Germany, but they're going to have to go around the outside of the turning point. So we'll see how they're lined up for it. That turning point at the top of the picture is turning point 6. So that's the chicane that they're going to be moving on to after they hit turning point 5 first. New Zealand already around turning point 5, making their way to turning point 6. So an enormous lead for them. Absolutely untouchable, showing why they ought to have been in the A final. They could almost ease right off and they'll still absolutely dominate this B final here. Jackie Kittle on the right of the picture, Matt Dunham in the bows, the sprinter from New Zealand. Nobody can beat him up the beach. So quick. Alemannia von Hamburg trying to push past Ring Rowing Club to pinch 3rd place. We've got to remember that Lama and Panteca of Italy are still holding on to 2nd behind the Kiwis. It's theirs to hold on to. Now we come up towards turning point 5. Let's see how... Oh, look at this. See, Alemannia von Hamburg are going to have to really tightly take it around this corner. We're going to see a bit of a clash here because Ring Rowing Club won't like them slowing down for the corner. But that's what's going to happen. They can't help but slow down. And that means that Saint-Malo are going to get tangled up behind them. They push their stern round. In the end, a very lucky corner for Alemannia von Hamburg. That could have gone all very wrong, but their aggression has paid off. They've got a bit of a lead now on Ring Rowing Club. So 170-meter dash now up towards turning point 6. So we've got Saint-Jean and Tonon composite crew now comfortably holding 3rd place ahead of that little tussle for 4th and 5th. So you can see the enormous lead of the Kiwis. Italy holding on to 2nd, And then that is the combination from Saint-Jean and Tonon. Jean-Simon Courvain-Pic and Véronique Couvreur holding on to third place. So I think this 1, 2, 3 isn't going to change as we come up towards turning point 7. 340 meters to TP7 and then 350 meters into the beach. Nothing's going to change here. I think we're looking pretty locked in, but the stars of this race, I think we would have expected this according to the form book. Matt Dunham, Jackie Kittle, absolute domination for New Zealand. Panteca and Lama, Rosario Panteca, Violante Lama of Dibby Rowing Club. Starting to feel the pressure from France. We might well see France move up through them. But I think this race is a pretty much concluded outcome. We can see Kittle and Dunham, absolute domination. If you're tuning in from New Zealand, I'm sure you're delighted by this performance from these Kiwi international athletes. Setting a great pace. They're already nearly up to the beach as the trailing crews just come to turning point 7. The field very much strung out. And a 200-meter lead New Zealand have over Italy between first and second. That's the Kiwis in the top left of that picture already coming in towards the beach as Dibby Rowing Club from Italy just make it around turning point 7. So we're now going to see Matt Dunham make his way up the beach. We'll see if he puts the gas on. He's such a fast sprinter we saw through the course of the beach sprints last weekend. And as soon as they cross the line, we're going to start getting ready for the A finals. The next race is the first A final of the weekend for the women's solos. So lots to look forward to in these A finals, but this is Jackie Kittle and Matt Dunham. He's not rushing too much here. He knows the wind's on, so we're not going to see him set the sand alight as we've seen in the beach sprints. But that is basically going to wrap up our B final here for the mixed doubles. Results will be posted on the World Rowing website. We're going to get ready now for the A finals due off in just over 10 minutes. So we'll catch up with you in the lead up to that A final.
Now it's time to look into the second and third place overall in this B-final, and looks like the Italian combination is going to get the second spot overall into the B-final. So let's switch into Italian to welcome this combo. Giriamo quindi la lingua in italiano per accogliere questa formazione e in questo momento prova a prendersi la seconda piazza dalla Dibby Rowing Club. Panteca e Lama iniziano la corsa per aggiudicarsi la seconda piazza assoluta in questa finale D. Ed eccola qua, Violante Lama che la porta a casa questa seconda posizione davanti alla Francia terza.
It's going to